Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see so many of you here. The presentation this evening is for the launch of Viralio. Some people say the relaunch, but I like to think of it as the proper launch of Viralio. It's now what it should have been, before we did the beta testing. So I'm going to call this the launch of Viralio. And my name's Andy Galloway. I'm speaking on behalf of Viralio, and on the call with me, I've got Lyndon, the CEO of Beep, and I can't see Angelos anywhere. Is Angelos here?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's here.
yeah, I can see
He's there.
Angelos,
Yeah.
the developer of the of Viralio, the AI engine, and so on. Okay, so we'll cover all that in the presentation. I'm going to start off with a presentation of what Viralio is and what it's all about. And when we get to the little bit about, or we get to the bit about the AI engine, then I'm going to ask Angelos to come and basically say some things about that and add to the richness of the presentation. That's the idea, so you're not just listening to my voice um, for 7 or 8 hours. So we'll get some other people doing some talking as well. I'm going to switch over. I'm going to share my screen now, and we'll have a look at a presentation I put together for the pre-launch meeting I did last week. So some of you have seen some of this before, but there is some extra stuff in this presentation. So don't nod off to sleep too deeply, because we want to. There'll be some stuff that you would miss if you were to do that. So Viralio is an AI crypto trading system that's working for you. And basically what we're trying to do here is to revive a trading system that's been in existence for about a decade already. And the trading system itself requires so much data to make it all work. It was kind of impossible to do until the advent of AI. So when AI started really coming into its own, maybe a year or a year and a half ago, the people behind the Viralio system, the manual trading system, Lyndon and Angelos, said, "Look, maybe it's time to dust it off, get it out there, give it a proper brain, instead of relying on humans' brains and emotions." And many of you know the pitfalls with trading, and of course AI doesn't have any of those pitfalls. So they said, well, let's dust it off. We'll connect it up to a brain. Lyndon said, Angelos, can you write code for a brain for me? And they said, yeah, sure, no problem. So that's what they did, and that's what we've done. And kind of that's what we're presenting to you. So it had to be done by AI because there's just so much data to look at. So the original manual trading system identified that there were 8 major contributing factors. There's lots of other stuff going on in the periphery as well that pushes the market one way or the other a bit. But these 8 major factors, when they line up, time after time after time, you can predict exactly what's going to happen next. So if you observe those 8 factors, what we calculated is that it would lead to a success rate better than 94%. Now, it's no good having people do that because people, even if they've got all that data and all that information, and if they can analyze it that quickly and use it in real time, they still have emotions. They still have to sleep. Okay, they still have to do other things. They get in a bad mood sometimes. They get tired sometimes. Okay, and they make bad decisions. Those of us that have been in the trading world know that that happens. You know you shouldn't be pulling the trigger, but the only thing worse than pulling the trigger is not pulling the trigger. So so we do it, and sometimes we know we shouldn't, and everybody does. So we built an AI engine to to automate that market analysis. And because she's monitoring the 8 key factors, we called her Octavia. Octavia coming from octo, the Latin for 8. And it's the heart and soul of the Viralio trading system. The trading system is one thing, that's the customer facing end of things. And Octavia is the brain behind all that comes up with all the decisions for what Viralio should do. So Viralio is run by 3 people, and they are real people. Sometimes you get involved in a company or a platform, and it's nameless, faceless people. Nobody's ever heard of them before, and it turns out they're Italian actors or they're AI, as we've seen sometimes. But we're all we're 3 real people. You either know me, or you know Lyndon, or you know Angelos. and our lives are kind of on the internet. You can look up where I went to school and what jobs I've had, what businesses I've run, and this sort of thing. My life's an open book in that respect. So we're kind of open and transparent ourselves about what we do, who we are. So Linden, what brings us to this point is Linden has a great history in business and um, straight and network marketing stretching back to when I first met him back in the 1980s. And more recently, the last 10, 12, maybe 15 years, Linda's been the CEO of Beep. And you're going to hear a lot more about Beep over the coming years because Beep is an idea whose time has come. And as such, it's kind of a little bit unstoppable. It's had a little bit of difficulty getting traction because there's such a different idea from what anybody else has ever seen, what anybody's used to, what they were expecting to see, that it's a little bit difficult to get something off the ground. And of course, when these things, and it's the same with blockchain, it's the same with um, Bitcoin, it's the same with the internet, and it's the same with computers. Until there was a certain point reached in the adoption on the adoption curve, then it was difficult to do. People would say, "Well, I don't need computers because my business is always run on bits of paper." And in fact, the guy who invented computers thought that the world would only ever need two of them, which is one to solve all the world's problems and the other one to check the first one was right. So, it just shows that even the people who invent these things don't really realize their potential. So you're going to hear a lot more about Beep. You'll hear from Lyndon a bit later about some things that Beep are doing that you may well be interested in. If not now, then at some point in the future. Um, and also, Lyndon is the guy who had the brainchild of, or part of the duo, the dynamic duo that said, let's automate what Viralio is doing. And then we have the chief technical officer. It's easy for you to say. The chief technical officer, the CTO of Beep, is Angelos Hadjiphilippou. And Angelos is a blockchain architect. Sometimes we talk about developers. We say, well, they're developers, they're coders, they're programmers. And if you take all of that and put it into a basket on one side, Angelos is kind of in a rarefied stratosphere, if you like, of blockchain developers. There are not many of those around. And Angelos has developed the Steroid 4.0 blockchain. And that's a great blockchain. Again, you're going to hear a lot more about it because it's associated with Beep, and that's the foundational blockchain of Beep, and it's benchmark tested to operate really, really quickly all over the world. Millions of, that's an exaggeration, tens of thousands of transactions every single second, far more than the Visa network can do. Beep is already set up for when they have that success. And Angelos hosts Viralio on the Steroid 4.0 blockchain for all the good benefits you would expect. And he's made sure that it's decentralized, all around the world. So Viralio has all the great things that you would expect from a blockchain: the decentralization, the speed of transactions, and so on. So I'm going to ask Angelos if he'd like to just come on to switch his camera on and come and say,
Can I jump in? Can I jump in there, Andy?
no, because you told me not to let you do that.
Yeah, good man. Angelos has got issues with the laptop he's taken to his house up in the hills of Cyprus, which is highly amusing for a mere mortal like me. I'm not a technical guy, so the chief technical officer has something issues with his laptop. So the only way he can communicate with us is he's going to type to me. I'm, as you can see, I'm in Beep Central. So I've got all the technology surrounding me, which is about as much use to the chocolate fire guard with me, I can tell you. So, but Angelos can hear me, so better be careful what we say, and so he can type things there of any questions and answers at the end. Okay, so
Okay.
So he sends his apologies on behalf of his laptop that we were pretty sure would work in his house up in the hills of Cyprus.
Okay, so we'll hear from Angelos at the end in the Q&A section.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's go back to the presentation then. Luckily, we rehearsed this a few times. Not really. Okay, and then there's me. I've been in lots of different businesses. I've worked with big companies, small businesses, one-man bands as a consultant. I've worked with blue chip companies. I've advised. I've done process re-engineering for blue chip companies. If I mentioned their names, you would know them. They're world-class companies. So I know all the things what not to do and how to basically keep a customer base happy. And the watchword there is communication. So that's what you're going to get from me is lots of communication. I've been a forex trader. I've been a crypto trader in the past. I was trained many years ago. Before I ever did any trading, I was trained in arbitrage. I did a 3-day training course, and it was massively complicated, very, very slow, and didn't make much money. But I understood the principle. So, lots of different bits of knowledge, bits of experience to draw on to help me with the role of supporting you guys um, as you're building a Viralio business. Now, you may not want to build a Viralio business. You might just be interested in putting some money in, sit back and wait for the money to come to you. That's absolutely fine. So how does Viralio work? Well, there are clues that tell us when the price of an asset is about to move, and Octavia make sure that that information gets passed to Viralio, and Viralio then takes that information and puts money into various trades in the marketplace. Now, the only exchange we're operating through right now and for the foreseeable future is Binance, but we're doing it in two different ways. So we'll get to that in a few seconds. So we're looking for high profile trades based on live data. And when Viralio detects there isn't a trade to be had, then she won't do anything, which is kind of frustrating for us because we want a lot of trades, but more importantly, we don't want to be losing money. We don't want her to be losing money for us. So there are two very simple ways for you to take advantage of the Viralio trading system. One is you have your own Binance Exchange account and you connect it up via API keys. Now I'm going to be producing just a small booklet about how to use a Viralio system and connect this up to the API keys and the bit about the TCT tokens and so on. So it won't be a very big book, but it will have some words in there about how to connect your Binance Exchange account via API key. At the moment, we can only connect to a Binance.com account. We're pretty soon going to extend that to the Binance.us. There's only a small amount of coding needs to be done to change to include both of those exchanges. And strangely enough, they are completely different. And there's lots of different Binance exchanges all over the world. They're not suitable. Just Binance.com at the moment and soon to be Binance.us. So the API key allows your Binance account to take external instructions from Viralio, for example. There are lots of different ways of sending those signals, but they're just particular format that Binance knows what to do with that information. Basically, take some of your money and buy a coin with it, and then take other money and buy another coin. The other thing you can do is to stake into the Viralio tokenized community trading project. Now, I struggle before I use the word stake because it conjures up certain connotations in your mind, or it did in mine, and staking might not be quite the right word. Basically, what you do is you buy some tokens. You buy some tokens at a certain price. Then Viralio does some things behind the scene, and the token goes up in value or down in value. But let's be positive; it's going to go up in value, and so at a later stage, your money is now worth a lot more. So suppose you buy the coins are worth $100 each right now. So let's suppose you buy 10 tokens; that's $1,000. And in a few weeks' time, that's worth $1,100. You might say, well, I'm going to cash in some of that and take that extra $100 and go do something with it. Okay, I'm not suggesting you want to do that, but you might. And so you reduce your holdings of the coins, but in real terms, you've taken money back from the stash of coins that you have within Viralio. Okay, and the reason we did that is because there are many places in the world where people do not have access to a Binance exchange or a compatible one. So that's why we have the tokenized community trading. And so either way that you're getting involved, the signals from Octavia get translated into a buy signal on the Binance exchange. When the trend is over, Octavia will send another signal. And I don't know if you understand the difference between trading and what people say is trading within crypto. It's not really trading. In crypto, what you do is you just buy a coin, and then later you buy another coin. And if you are doing what we're aiming to do is to uh, buy, the second buy will be a stable coin, USDC. And so it's kind of like buying a coin and then selling the coin, but you don't really sell it. You just buy the stable coin again. Um, so you might not appreciate the difference, but there is a difference between just what we do in crypto and what we do in any other type of trading. So that's it. Within the if you're going to use the TCT token route, then sorry, that's not true. If you're going to use the your own Binance account, then within Viralio there will be. It's not there yet. I checked earlier, but there will be a place where you can say, for my trading, I want to use this percentage of my funds. And so what will happen is every once in a while, Viralio will look at your account and say that account is now worth this much money. So the next trade is going to be worth, I'm going to put this much, 10%, 20%, 5%, whatever you decide. And that really puts the control back in your hands, because if you set the percentage too high, bear in mind, you expose yourself to more risk. So if you were to set it to, say, 50%, and that's a losing trade, because there will be losing trades. Okay, if that's a losing trade, then you're losing a significant amount of money. You won't lose all of it, or you shouldn't lose all of it, but you will lose, some money. Whereas if it's too high, yes, you stand to gain more, but you stand to lose more. But if it's too low, if you set it to, say, 5%, which will give you 20 trades before you can't take any more trades, and we only ever put 7 or 8 trades per day out, then you've got a chunk of money, you've got over half your money sat there doing nothing. So you've got to judge that yourself, and you can change it from day to day. There's no reason why not. But just to kind of, this is more strategic than it is an introduction to Viralio. But yeah, you just need to be aware of the percentage that you set. Now, for the tokenized trading, you stake for completely hands-free passive income. So your tokens don't go into the trading at all. There is no trading on your behalf. You're just buying the coins. We do something magic behind the scenes, and the value of the coin goes up. And so then you can take some of that profit back as and when you want to, which is, of course, you will at some point, because that's why we're doing this, is to make some money. So the value of the TCT token is recalculated every single time we close a trade. So you can, that'll be the latest up-to-date information in your back office at all times. I'll show you a picture of your back office in a minute. So what do you do to get started? You get a referral link from the person who introduced you and register in Viralio. It was brought to my attention that when you register in Viralio now, if you want to get an affiliate link, you have to click the button or click the thing on the menu to say, oh, please, can I be an affiliate? We had a discussion the other day. We're going to stop doing that. Every single member will automatically have a referral link. But right now, you still need to request to become an affiliate. And then once that's approved, you will have a referral link. So you get that and give it out to all your friends, neighbors, relatives, work colleagues, and so on. Then once you're registered, you either purchase your Viralio credits in Bitcoin or Litecoin to activate your account. So this is, those of you that were on Viralio before know how to do this. There's a button that says top up. You click on top up and you can select how much you want to create Viralio credits. The minimum is $100 or 100 USDT or USDC. Once registered, if you want to introduce others, you just click the button. I've just said that. And what I like about this as well is you don't send people to a registration page, you send them to a landing page. You send people to a page where they can read about it, see some information, and then when they're happy, they can register, they can sign up. Okay, I just think that's a more civilized way of doing things. Instead of you send somebody a link and they get a box in front of them saying, enter your name, enter your password, you go, well, what am I signing up for? So I just prefer that. If you're using your Binance Exchange, your own Binance Exchange, you connect it via an API. In Viralio, connect it under your Exchange tab, and it just asks you for your username. It doesn't. It asks you for your API key and your secret key. Now, when you make an API key in Binance, bear in mind that you do it through the little avatar. It says API management. You can click to create a new API key. But you'll only ever you can refer back to that API key as many times as you like below. You'll only ever get to see that secret key once. When you click off that screen, if you haven't made a note of that secret key, it's gone. It's not a disaster because you can always delete it in Viralio and make it all over again. It's not a big problem, but just so you know, you'll need to make a note of the API key and the secret key. All profits are shown in your back office, including if you have TCT tokens, you'll see the value of your holdings. Every single time a trade finishes, your holdings of TCT will show a different value. And when your trades make you profit, your Viralio credits account is used to pay for those trades. So you're paying Viralio for for the privilege of Viralio making you profit. If in your exchange account, your TCT, what you've staked in TCT, if when that's made a profit, let's suppose it makes you $100 profit, then your VIO credits account will be debited 10 VIO credits, okay, each of them being worth $1. So you pay the equivalent of 10% of the trading profit. As your account gets depleted, to save it running out completely, you'll start receiving reminders saying, you're down to your last 20 VIO credits, please top up. And as long as there are VIO credits in your account, you'll continue receiving signals. If you let it run out, you will stop receiving signals. Okay, and so you only pay money when there are successful trades, when you make profit. In the event that you make a loss, if the trade makes a loss, whatever it would have cost you for that trade had it made a profit, we will or Viralio will give you that amount of your VIO credits back. So the reverse example, instead of making $100 this time, you lose $100, then you would get 10 VIO credits into your account. So therefore, you're not paying to make profit again until you're back in profit. I'm sure you understand that. So the next $100 you make, you don't get charged by Viralio, and then you make another $100 profit. Now you're going to get charged for that because you're clear of that loss that that happened. If you don't understand that, then just bring it up in the Q&A and I'll go through it all again. So you click on the top up button within Viralio and you can choose whichever level you want to add VIO credits. And there's this option here. If it's not one of these preset amounts, then it's just anything else is that option. That's it. Enter your email address, click submit, pay the amount shown. It'll give you then a wallet address to send either Bitcoin or Litecoin. Once that's received, then your account gets topped up with the VIO credits. Bear in mind as well, working with these types of wallets before, I've seen that people send $100, but what arrives at this end is $96. Okay, if that's what happens, then your VIO credits won't be processed. You'll need to send another $4, which means it'll cost you a lot more money to do your transactions. But it's not our fault. We won't even see that money until you've sent $100. So just a word of warning there. And that's it. Just sit back and wait then. If you've got any problems, then post a description of your problem in the Telegram open forum. Okay, that's where we're all going to be in there, passing messages around. And any of you that are in that open forum, if you know the answer, by all means jump in and help your fellow I don't know what we're going to call ourselves, but help your fellows. And but only do so if you are sure you know the answer, please. Because sometimes it takes, if somebody puts some wrong information out there, that persists for years. You put the right information out there and you've got to repeat it 17 times a day. You put the wrong information out there and everybody knows all the wrong information for years. There is still the trusted partner route through Viralio. Click a link, fill in the form and negotiate for a trusted partner, but they will want paying. You can volunteer to be a trusted partner and we'll kind of assess how much you know about the system, and then if that's all good, then you can be a trusted partner. But primarily your first port of call is the person who introduced you, your second port of call is the Telegram open forum, and the third one is through the trusted partners. Now, commissions. We like commissions. It's one of the few things in life we all enjoy, commissions and bonuses and holidays. So when somebody you've introduced tops up their Viralio credits, then you'll receive 7.5% of the amount they've topped up. Doesn't come from them, it comes from Viralio. So we give you 7.5%. And if your friends have introduced others, when those friends top up their credits, that you'll receive 2.5%. Okay, so you don't receive anything on the profits. If you think that's what I said in the past, and if I did say that in the past, I apologize. It's not my fault. Sometimes I'm not as bright as I'd like to be, but yeah. So this is the real story. You receive when people top up their Viralio credits, then you receive commission based on that top up, not as a result of them making profits. Now, if you think about this, if somebody puts $1,000, or say they've got $100 of VIO credits and $1,000 in the account, by the time they've doubled that $1,000, they're going to have used up all their 100 VIO credits. So they've now got $2,000 in their trading account, and the signals are going to stop. So what are their options? Do nothing, don't get any more signals. That was good. I've made $1,000. Thank you very much. Or take $100 out of that profit and buy some more Viralio credits. Much more likely they're going to do that, and therefore you will receive another 7.5% or 2.5%. So it's not directly related to the profit, but indirectly it kind of is. And commissions are paid to you by the company, not by your friends. Commissions are paid automatically into your VIO credit account. So if you do this, correctly, you should you'll top up with your VIO credits, and you'll never need to do that again, because all of the money coming in will be topping up your VIO credit account. Yeah, so make sure you leave enough Viralio credits in your account to keep the whole thing ticking over. So there's no subscription costs. These are key points. No subscription costs. You pay 10% of your profits effectively. So no profits is no fees. For the individual trading accounts, your money remains in your own account, but you are responsible for your own withdrawal fees, and anything that Binance does with your account, because they're instructed to do it by your government, whatever those rules are, they apply to you. If Binance want money for you withdrawing your fees, that's between you and Binance. All of that is nothing to do with us. We're just going to send signals to your Binance account and buy one coin, and then send some more signals and buy a different coin. That's all we're ever going to do. Your fees, your arrangement with Binance, your KYC is all yours. However, if you're with us, we pay all the fees. If you're with us in the TCT project, we pay all the fees, we pay all the withdrawal and everything else, and it costs you nothing at all. So if your Viralio credit account reaches 0 or less, you'll not receive signals until you've topped up. So you don't have to continue using Viralio. You can leave anytime you want. But the VIO credits are, no, we won't, let's not go into that. This is getting started checklist. You create a Binance account, fund it, create the API keys, register with Viralio, connect your exchange, top up your Viralio credits, at least 100 US, and apply to become an affiliate. Send your affiliate link to your friends and permanent network. Now, I did miss a step in there, In here, after you've connected your exchange account, you then need to push a button to create a trade bot. And I haven't got that in there, so I apologize for that. We will go through if we look at the back office in a little bit. If you're going to do the tokenized community trading, and you can do both, there's no reason why you can't do both. You can register, select this, deposit funds in BTC or LTC to stake in the TCT coin. You also need to top up your Viralio credits and apply to become an affiliate and send your link to your friends and permanent network. So this is recent performance of trading. I don't know if you can see those numbers. They're quite small even for me on this big screen, but you can see that down the right hand side, or near the right hand side, they're all green. So you've made 2.15%, 1.23%, nearly 5%, nearly 5% again, 2%. And these are happening, if you check the time, some of these are happening in a few minutes. Most of them are happening within a couple of hours. And then down the bottom of the page there's a few losses. And we've actually improved the system even since this was back in the middle of January. So it's been a month of development since then. So we've got some trading performance to fall back on. So this is how you track your TCT tokens. There's an area on your dashboard. I think it's the second or third panel down from the top, and it tells you what the current balance is of TCT. You're in your account. So this is my account. So I have 2 TCT, and the value is $200, and the TCT price is $100. And it doesn't matter how many people buy TCT tokens, that price will never change. It's only when we do something to make the price of TCT go up. It's not just people putting money in. That won't affect it, because you're buying the coins at exactly the same price as I'm buying the coins today. Okay, but trading is happening, or going to be happening very, very soon. As soon as Viralio finds a decent trade, we'll be all over it, and then the price of that will start going up. So you want people to join and not hang around. You want to get them to get the TCT tokens as soon as they possibly can. And then, so here you click in here. So I forgot, I'm not live, I'm not on the site. So you click in here for the USD amount of how much you want to buy, and click on purchase via crypto, and it'll take you to a page where you can deposit a Bitcoin and Litecoin. You just send money to that address. I'm sure you're familiar with the concept. If you want to sell your TCT, then you put the amount in here, click on the big yellow button there, and it will it'll put it in process, if you like. I hate to say these things are awaiting approval. It's not really awaiting approval. It's waiting Octavia to put the whole account of TCT in a position where we can offload basically offload your TCT. Okay, until we can do that, and it might take a day, it might take a couple of days, it might happen in 10 minutes, but that's not very likely. It's much more likely to be a day or two. And then as soon as that's free, then you can withdraw your the value of your TCT. And then if you want to withdraw either TCT or BTC, you put your wallet address in here and request a cash out. Okay, so this is just cashing out, and it comes back to your external wallet then. So fairly simple. This is a new website we put together for you to have a look at about the TCT token, and I'll give you the web address for it. Is tct.viralio.com. tct.viralio.com, and you'll end up on this page, and it gives you it's a very simple page, but it's good. There's a lot of information there, some words as well. And if you click on this big blue button in the middle, that'll take you to your Viralio dashboard. So align your experience with collective performance. So people want to know about the TCT token, go there, read all about it. This is the members exclusive, Viralio private members club. Okay, it's important to know we're a private members club. People only can get here by invitation, your invitation. So it's not available to just any old Joe lunch bucket who happens to stumble across us on the internet. And the participation cycle, you acquire and mint, you optimize, you swap or redeem, and then we have a formula for calculating the value of the TCT. And it's basically the total ecosystem value divided by the total TCT supply. And so that's how we keep track every single second of every single day, how much one TCT token is worth. Okay, so that's the end of this presentation, AI crypto working for you. Thanks, Mike. So guys, thank you so much for being here. I think that's the end of it because there's no more questions, which means you all know everything. You all know everything I know, which sadly you realize isn't very much, but there we go. So yeah, thank you for being on the Zoom call. We do appreciate it. We're looking forward to a long and bountiful relationship with all of you. And yeah, that's it. We're hoping this promotion is going to earn you some mining packages that are going to make you a lot of money, completely independent of the trading. And don't forget that there's a shout out for the master nodes. Those master nodes are phenomenal. I've looked through them with a fine tooth comb, and anybody who gets one of those is pretty much set up for life, in my opinion. Linda may not thank me for saying that, but it's only we don't all have a lot of funds available at any given time. I've just bought a gold mine in Canada, so I'm kind of out of funds at the moment, and I wish that was a joke. Yeah, so Lyndon and Anglos, just want to say a few words of signing off.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, for your time. Appreciate it. Thanks, Angelos, for doing the things you did to get here and everything you've done over the last couple of weeks to get us to this stage. Absolutely phenomenal. What Angelos has done and built since Christmas is astonishing. Okay, so hats off to that, and let's get Andy and Angelos working together, supervising Viralio. I look forward to it, guys. Well done. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah, I agree with that, Lyndon. And I do want to say thank you even to not just the people who are here now, to everybody who participated in the original beta test. If it weren't for you, we wouldn't be able to pull this off until now. We had to sustain some losses. We made some profits in some of your accounts, but without that, Octavia wouldn't exist today. So thank you all.
That's great, Anglos. And yeah, for my part, guys, I'm looking forward to us working together a bit more closely and making it all happen. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a wild ride. Okay, guys, so that's the end of the presentation. Again, thank you for your time. I appreciate you being here with us, and we will be doing fairly regular presentations for brand new people. So it's going to be really slimmed down version of what we talked about earlier. So instead of we've been on the call now almost 2 hours, but the standard presentation for brand new people, we're going to get that down to about 25-30 minutes. They'll have to listen fast. I'm going to have to talk fast, but I'm sure we can get it out about 30 minutes, make it short, sharp, and to the point. So you're going to have that. We're going to provide all sorts of marketing tools for you to get the message out there. Anything you need from me, just ask. If you need, there's a couple of flyers already in the Telegram group. There's a couple of videos in the Telegram group, so by all means use those. Anything you need, let me know. Drop a message in there, and I'll do my best to produce it in double quick time. If you need me to jump on a Zoom call with you or some of your people, we can do that. Maybe even some workshops, do some not fault finding, but just sort of technical workshops, help people sort things out. It's all available for you. All you got to do is ask. Okay, guys, so that's it for now. God bless. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll speak again soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.